Sooner or later, Bluey is going to get a brand new season. And when that moment finally arrives, we'll get a bunch of incredible new episodes.
Wow.
But can you imagine what the themes of those episodes might be? We think there are going to be some really emotional stories coming up. Some of them might even be holiday specials like Valentine's Day. This kind of episode has the potential to be truly touching, especially if it takes place in the future. It's no secret that Bluey sometimes shows moments from different stages of the Healer family's lives, so it's only a matter of time before we get an episode set entirely in the future. It would make perfect sense if this special happened when Bluey is a teenager, a time in life when emotions run high and people often experience their first crushes and relationships, especially since the show has already hinted that Bluey's friendship with Mackenzie might become something more as they grow up. At their current age, neither of them cares about anything beyond playing, but that could change once they're around 14. It would be amazing to see Mackenzie inviting Bluey out on a Valentine's Day date, something that could mark the beginning of their relationship, and that's just one of the 10 new Bluey episodes we might see. It's time to have fun with us in another Cinewave. Who doesn't love Halloween? Almost everyone enjoys that holiday, even the ones who get scared easily. Kids especially love it, and every country has its own way of celebrating, usually involving dressing up as monsters. In Australia, Halloween isn't as big as it is in the United States, but it's still celebrated. Kids even go trick-or-treating, though only at houses that are decorated, since people who don't celebrate prefer not to be disturbed. Knowing how fun-loving the Healer family is, it's easy to imagine them celebrating the date too. In fact, there are official images showing Bluey and Bingo wearing Halloween costumes, so there's no reason this kind of episode shouldn't happen. The story could take place during a little Halloween party at the Healer house, bringing together family members and neighbors to celebrate. Everyone in costumes, especially the kids. It would be such a fun episode to watch, and it's easy to picture it being released around Halloween 2026. What kind of costumes would you like to see Bluey and her friends wearing? And by the way, do you and your family celebrate Halloween, or do you usually let it pass by unnoticed? There are some episodes that not only have a big chance of being made for season 4, but really should be made. One of them is the episode where Aunt Brandy goes into labor. We've known she's pregnant ever since The Sign, which was a huge surprise. Everyone thought she'd never be able to have kids since she had been trying and failing for so many years. It was such a wonderful way to show that nothing is truly impossible when you really want something. It would be a huge missed opportunity not to make an episode focusing on Brandy as she experiences her long-awaited pregnancy. Unlike many other women, she'd probably be calm about the difficult parts of it, the pain, the nausea, and everything else. After all, she's researched this more than anyone. Of course, that doesn't mean the pregnancy would be all sunshine and rainbows. This episode would also be the perfect opportunity to finally introduce Brandy's husband, the baby's father. Like it or not, he's part of the Healer family, and the fact that he's never appeared in the show really needs to change. The climax of the episode would definitely be when Brandy goes into labor, a moment that could become one of the most emotional scenes in the entire series. Someone who always dreamed of becoming a mother finally getting to live that dream. The birth of Bluey's newest family member. In season 3, there was an episode called Curry Quest, where Bandit went on a trip and spent some time away from his family. He works as an archaeologist and usually manages to do most of his work from home, but sometimes he needs to go on field expeditions to study fossils of all kinds. Unfortunately, that part of his job has never been shown on screen, at least not yet. But what if, in season 4 or 5, we finally get an episode entirely focused on Bandit going on a new expedition, this time with us viewers tagging along for the adventure? That could end up being one of the most unique and entertaining episodes ever made. Bandit is already considered by many to be the best character in Bluey, and this would probably make even more fans fall in love with him. And since archaeologists study traces of the past to understand our world's history, it would also be a clever way to answer a few questions fans have been asking for years. For example, is Bluey's world just like ours, but with dogs instead of people? Were there ever humans in the past? These are fascinating questions, and they definitely deserve a little spotlight in the show. And hey, if you love Bluey's dad too, drop a hashtag Bandit in the comments to show him some love. Out of all the Bluey episodes released so far, one of the most heartwarming is Camping, where the little blue pup meets a Canadian Labrador named Jean-Luc. Even though he only speaks French, the two manage to play together and become great friends, until Jean-Luc has to leave and never comes back. At least not for several years, since the episode ends with them reuniting as teenagers. Honestly, it was a bit cruel to end that story without showing what happened next. But what if one of the upcoming Bluey episodes is actually a continuation of that scene? Maybe Jean-Luc moved to Australia and now he and Bluey could finally be full-time friends. It would make for another beautiful chapter in Bluey's teenage life, right alongside a potential Valentine's Day episode. You can almost picture this one happening first, showing Mackenzie getting jealous of Jean-Luc. Maybe that's how the Border Collie realized his own feelings for Bluey. Another character who definitely deserves another episode focused on him is Dougie, the little boy with hearing loss who appeared in Turtle Boy. That episode moved the entire Bluey fandom, and everyone wants to see him again. Mainly because even though the story revolves around both Dougie and Bingo, they never actually meet. Their connection comes from the fact that they both play with the same toy left at the playground. We'd all love to see them actually meet because their dynamic would be so sweet and heartwarming. It would also be a beautiful way for the show to teach kids that everyone can be friends, even those who live with disabilities. The first Dougie episode already carried that message in its own way, but it would come back even stronger if he and Bingo found a way to overcome communication barriers and play together. Similar to Bluey's connection with Jean-Luc, but even more emotional. Not many people know this, but while Bandit works as an archaeologist, Chili has a part-time job as an airport security guard, probably so she can have more quality time with her daughters. If she worked full-time, poor Chili would barely appear on the show. The thing is, just like it would be amazing to see Bandit on a real archaeological expedition, it would also be really cool to see an episode focused on Chili at work in the airport. We could meet her coworkers, and also her boss, who's mentioned in the Magic Xylophone and sounds like a total jerk. It's easy to imagine her spending most of her shifts just waiting for the clock to hit quitting time so she can go home, until things escalate and we see Bluey's mom catching a thief at the airport. It would be even more amazing if Bluey and Bingo went to the airport with Bandit to drop off something their mom forgot at home, only to see her in full hero mode. The girls would realize their mom is way braver than they ever imagined. Bluey already had a wonderful Christmas episode, especially because it wasn't one of those generic ones filled with snow everywhere. After all, Christmas in Australia happens during the summer. Instead, we saw the Healer family celebrating and having fun by the pool. But here's the thing, Christmas happens every year, so it would make total sense to have another holiday episode, one that's even more unique, but still has that classic Christmas charm. We're talking about a story where Bluey dreams she's living in one of those American-style holiday movies, with snow, cozy sweaters, and even Santa himself showing up. Then she wakes up and realizes it was all just a dream. Kind of like in the episode Fruit Bat, where she dreams she's a bat flying through the night instead of sleeping. This Christmas dream could happen after she watches a holiday movie with her family and starts wondering why they celebrate so differently in Australia. But we can totally picture her realizing in the end that Aussie Christmases are way more fun. Want to keep having fun with us? Then subscribe and turn on the notification bell.
Thank you.
One holiday that Bluey still hasn't had a special for is Children's Day, which is kind of funny because this is one of those shows where an episode celebrating that date would make total sense. The series celebrates childhood and kids' creativity in such a genuine way that it feels inevitable we'll get this episode in either season 4 or season 5. It would probably show the kids having a big celebration organized by the neighborhood or the school. Maybe we'd even get get a few flashbacks of the parents remembering when they were little and carefree, only wanting to play all day. That way, the episode wouldn't just celebrate the kids themselves, but also the whole concept of childhood, teaching young viewers to cherish it while it lasts. In that same festive spirit, we could totally see a New Year's special happening. Bluey is the perfect series for that kind of story because, unlike other preschool shows like Peppa Pig, the Australian series actually follows a timeline that moves forward. The characters age in a natural, believable way, and eventually both Bluey and her little sister will grow up. If Peppa Pig has so many holiday specials even without the passage of time, imagine Bluey! Here, every one of these episodes matters deeply because it captures moments that truly have meaning. A New Year's episode would take that idea to the next level, celebrating growth, change, and the beauty of time moving forward. The next step is right in front of you. 2 fun-filled videos waiting for your click. Thanks, and see you soon.